Hello and welcome to the Christmas calendar, day 22. Today is about Spaceship Earth and I'm your space captain of this spaceship going around the sun in high orbit, low orbit, round orbit, eclipse orbit. Yes, we live on a spaceship. Outside this spaceship there's only space, vacuum of space, or the near vacuum of space, and our solar system and our near neighboring stars, and of course our entire galaxy, the Milky Way. It's called the Winter Gate Street in Swedish, Vintergatan. But in English it's called the Milky Way, a way of milk. Yeah. Anyhow, as you are well aware of, I'm a big fan of science fiction, and this is a kind of science and fiction in one, because I first heard the term Spaceship Earth by Jason Silva. Talked about it, but it's actually Buckmister Fuller has talked a lot about it, and he said we are the captains of Spaceship Earth. And of course, if this is a spaceship and we are now the dominant force in shaping this spaceship, we of course are the crew on this spaceship. Just like we would be the crew on any ship leaving orbit or leaving Earth or living on another planet, we will be the dominant crew shaping the environment and running the ship. Have you ever been on a sail ship? For that matter, not this small one, but an actual, like a Viking ship or a sail ship of the 16th or 70s or 1800s, when they sailed across the sea and brought goods and services and armies and colonization and rats all over the globe. What would it take to run such a ship? For the best reference in popular culture, I will recommend watching the series Black Sails, a pirate series, as it's both fiction and built on actual characters, and trying to make it as realistic as they can in the golden age of piracy in Caribbean with Port Nassau. And when they run a ship, they run it by a tight crew, and you have to have everyone on board doing their role, and you have to have supplies, food, water and such, and sleeping quarters, and you have to keep it clean and hygiene. And it was actually pretty late in the 19th century that they actually started using the actual cure for scurvy, that is vitamin C and oranges. They have been known for 200 years before that, but the knowledge was not spread at all, so they didn't actually apply it. But so after that they started stocking fresh fruits as well. So, but if we think of our ship, Spaceship Earth, what are we stocking? How are we running it? What are your role? Are we sure we make it to the next harbor? There is no harbor. This is an endless flight sailing into the future around our sun. Round around we go until we at least become multiplanetary species, and we colonize Mars and the moon and maybe other moons in the solar system. The moons around Saturn and Jupiter and Uranus perhaps. And as such, we are still stuck on this ship that will never hit the shore, so there's no reloading supplies and fresh water and fruits from another harbor, because we have to do what we have here, and that's just the problem. We're consuming way more than the earth and nature regenerates in form of resources and such, and we are destroying our habitats and making species go extinct in an unprecedented speed, even for the other 5 big extinctions. So this is the 6th and the fastest extinction event throughout Earth's entire history. And so we're not running the ship as well. And very few of us actually received an official spaceship crew training, or there are very few captains. There are other so-called leaders from the olden world, kings, emperors, CEOs, priests, popes, generals, people with a whole different agenda than running a spaceship in mind, that have been running Earth for so long. But we actually need to start applying that mindset. How do we train crew members to become just crew members? Because if you would have a ship, you would want to have trained crew members for your first flight before anyone gets an actual experience. And maybe we have to get our experience as we sail along, because that's just what we do. But anyway, it's good to have an exercise or a training of sorts. So that's what I want to do. I want to train the crew members of Spaceship Earth, so we actually have an official mindset and training. And we want a captain. We want many captains at the helm of Spaceship Earth. Is there a helm, a rudder somewhere? We're steering. Not that kind of we steer the space in orbit, but the mental steering of where we want to take us as we travel along on this planet. And that's actually one part of why I call myself Captain Future, because I'm a future captain of Spaceship Earth. I think about the future. That's my role as a captain. And we have had lots of other captains here and crew members. And we're not gonna go do it like the old hierarchical ways that they did on a sailboat like that. One captain and his officers and the crew member under him. But we want to do this as a network society and organization and culture. And as such, we still need captains, I think, because my role as captain is not to give orders at all. That's not the captain part I'm talking about. I'm talking about the captain as a navigator and an inspiration and a leader that in the Simon Sinek way and the Institute for Evolution and Leadership, a leader that eats last, and a leader that puts the man before himself, and a leader that inspires and make sure people don't fight and such, and just energy giver, a social field builder, an ontological designer leader, that sort of leader. Very complex, because the future is very complex. So, what mental model do you get when you hear a term like Spaceship Earth? What do you want to do with this spaceship of ours? How do you want to run it? How do you want to help build a sustainable system that we can actually sail forever here on planet Earth with the resources we have, and the sun, of course, and a few meteors, and maybe if we start sending out mining ships, it will probably not be like the TV series Expanses that I talked about before. If you haven't checked it out, really check it out. It asked a lot of interesting what if questions of a future we actually don't want. When humans are mining the asteroid belts, we will probably send AI mining ships with robots with smart AI that can mine for resources for us and bring them home to planet Earth, so we can build our space elevators and such with materials and exciting alloys. So before that, we actually have to run it like a ship where there is no harbor or no resupply coming in anytime soon, except for the sun energy that's coming every day, and that we should use to run our spaceship. We should run it on solar energy that has been run for 4.5 billion years, until we came along and started digging up fuel that is not renewed every day. It's very old fuel that has been put deep down in the ground for a very good reason, because it's very toxic for us up here now. If you don't want the planet where it's toxic for us and other organisms that isn't toxic for, become the primary organism of Spaceship Earth. That's a plausible scenario, but we don't want that because we don't want to give it over to some bacteria that actually thrives in that environment. This is toxic for us. We want the spaceship run by humans. So this is Captain Future signing out from our spaceship. I will see you soon on a bridge or a helm or a rudder or a deck or a mast, or what's your metaphor? Soon, because that is my challenge now for you. Please tell me what do you think about this model as Earth as a spaceship. See ya!